do you play two? Which one's the best one to put the ball in the end zone all the time? Obviously, we think long-term Sam's really talented. He's accurate in the spring. He is a deceptive runner. He can run a lot better than people think he can. And he's a very accurate passer. So I really like him. I think he's going to be a good player.
How important was for you with your relationship with the players right away to get some tangible wins, like the players' lounge upgrade and that kind of thing?
I've learned it's the most important thing. Your word. You need to be able to come in and give them some things they don't have. And the first thing we always do is say, what do you want? What's wrong? We're going to play within the rules, but what's wrong? What do you want? Well, the food's bad. Well, tell me why the food's bad. Write it down. We gave them all pads, pencils. Tell me what's wrong with the food. We went to the food people and said, we've got to have good food. We're paying for it. What's wrong with it? Then I ate there every day for 2 months, 3 months. And I'd walk over to him and say, this is dry. This is unacceptable. Not going to have it. The players would see me do that. Then we said the players' lounge. Why don't you go in the players' lounge? Well, there's nothing in there we like. So what do you want? Here, write it down. Tell us what you want. A Papa Shot. I want a sleep pod. What else? Write it down. We'll get it. So we got everything they wanted. Sally changed the carpet because the carpet looked old and had stains on it. And then we thought the locker room looked tired and old. We built it 22 years ago and it needed freshening. And then we felt like that the weight room was just too busy and it didn't have the weights that Brian Hess wanted because every strength coach got his own weights and his own thing. So we threw all those out, gave them to the Olympic sports, and he put in exactly what he wants. And we've got one of the coolest days on Monday. I should have mentioned that in here, but they haven't seen them. We've locked off the locker room and the weight room, and we've got all the windows boarded up and everything, and we're going to have a celebration on Monday. And we're going to let all of them walk through them and have a big party and a big dinner afterwards. So that should be a lot of fun. But they need that. They need to know that they're important. They need to know that there's change coming. And especially since the last 2 years haven't been what they want.
Has that need changed a lot since you took over Texas and you had to make changes there? And when you first got to UNC, just the need to give the players a place that they're happy with and comfortable with and where they want to be. Was that as much the case when you took over UNC the first time or even Texas when you went there?
It was, but I didn't know what I was doing the first time. I just came in and I was so young and trying to figure it out. When we got to Texas, it was the same thing. We were lucky that John Mackovic had just gotten a new renovation of facilities and we were able to put paint on the walls and do that kind of stuff, but it was already in process. But I really feel like it's so important to them that you can come in and give them a better chance, give them more respect. And Coach Fedora did a great job of that indoor area, the practice area now. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing. And then we were able to add the field turf, which looks gorgeous. And then the two other things they're getting on Monday. It just shows the importance from the administration. Number one, it tells them that we're going to do what we tell them we're going to do. And number two, it shows the importance from the administration. And now we need the fans who are stepping up and buying a lot of tickets. We need them to show how important it is to them.
Aside from that stuff, what's the difference, maybe a greater challenge now taking over a Power 5 program in the situation UNC's in, as opposed to previously? And certainly you had a chance to see other guys do it the last 5 years. What is the biggest challenge? It's different.
We have the best team in the country in Clemson in our league, and you want to win championships, and that's a tough standard right now. They're recruiting better than everybody else in the country. They're doing everything right. So what we've got to do is try to win the Coastal, and then whoever's got to go in there and try to beat the best team in the country, and that's our deal. The other thing, Aaron, I think, is that it's all about the fit at your school. People they're talking about the transfer portal. Why do kids transfer? Well, they didn't like your place. They didn't like your offense or defense. They didn't fit. So I've told our coaches, let's get people that fit. So, well, here's this guy in Montana. I said, he didn't even know where we are. He's a great player. He wants to come. He got no clue. He can't get here. And if you can't get him out and drive from Chapel Hill to Winston-Salem, Charlotte, and Greensboro, and Raleigh, you probably aren't a fit. You need to have had some fit and reason to like Chapel Hill.
You mentioned that Clemson is the best team you believe that there's a gap between Clemson and the rest of the ACC?
Yes, ma'am. Without question. I think there's a gap between probably after watching it 5 years. It has been Ohio State, Georgia, Oklahoma, Alabama, Clemson. And then some people think Michigan may jump in there and cloud the Ohio State thing this year. But right now we've got a group at the top that are looking down at everybody else. And there's some that may get in there, but I don't know. And as you look at it, they get exactly what they want recruiting. And it's going this way more than it's going this way.
Coach, talk to
Yes.
You were that much in the 80s. Are there things you bring in from that experience when you were strong there? Are there things you use that you want to do?
Absolutely. We've got 5 guys that are working for us now that played for me. And all 5 of them say very little has changed. We're still have simple rules that they got to go by. We're still going to be deathly honest with them and direct at all times, which sometimes they get taken back and it's hard for them to handle. And we're going to work them really, really hard in practice. And we're going to play the guys that know what to do and play the best and work the hardest. It's not that complicated. In recruiting, we've got a footprint from really D.C. to Jacksonville, Florida, but that's more like Virginia Beach to Atlanta. And we want people who can drive to the school if possible. And we will get stronger in that footprint the more games we win. And that's who we are. But like we said, we're going to sign the best players we can in the state first. And if there's an in-state and out-of-state player that are even, we're always going to go in-state. And then we're going to try to get great players out of state, or we wouldn't go out of state to do that.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about what your relationship with Coach Sweeney's like, and when he came to see your program at Texas, what kind of advice did you give him?
Dabo and I have been great friends for a long time, and I think it started because I've known Woodrow McCorvey since he was the secondary coach in Pensacola, Florida, and I was at Southern Miss, and just love Woodrow. I mean, if I need something, if I need advice, I'm gonna call Woodrow McCorvey. Coach Stallings is a dear friend of mine. He's one of the best friends I've got, and they kind of took me and put me with Dabo. And when Dabo took the job, he came out to Texas with his whole staff and spent 3 or 4 days. And the 2 programs are run pretty much alike. There's not much difference. We will do the things Dabo's doing. And I thought what a credit to him that when he thought Kelly Bryant wasn't the guy, he told him he could have waited another week and had a backup quarterback, and he loses 2 more quarterbacks, maybe he doesn't win the national championship, but he was honest. He told him exactly what he thought, and it didn't matter what the timing was, and he moved on with it. So I don't like Dabo Swinney. I love Dabo Swinney. Wish we didn't have to play it, but I love it.
Thanks, Coach.
On that subject, sort of, I was struck by the fact that you kind of acknowledged that once the quarterback decision is made, you likely lose 1 or more of the guys that isn't your guy. Does that enter the calculus at all of the decision-making process?
Well, it does, and it can't. The problem is they're all so young, and 2 of them got hurt last year during the game. So if you pick a young one that struggles or a young one that gets hurt, and the other 2 leave, you're without. And one of the things that was a problem for us at the end at Texas is we got quarterback trouble because the transfer got hurt. All of a sudden you look up and you had 4, and now you got 2. So you've always got to have, when you think you got enough quarterbacks, get 1 more, because they're hard to keep. So all 3 kids have done great. The room's good. They're all nice. They all like each other. They're all talented. We've just got to figure out it, even early in the process. When I get back with Phil Longo, how do you do the snaps? You got 3. You're going to play 1. How do you cut it to 2? And usually when you've got 2, you can get 50% of the snaps with each group and be fine. But with 3, it's a little harder. So that's what we got to work out.
Mack, what's the strengths and weaknesses, in your opinion, of this team entering training camp?
The strength of this team right now would be running backs. To me, all 3 are really good. And you take Michael Carter, so fast in space. Javonte Williams, I think maybe a superstar. He's 220 pounds and can fly. And then you take else. He can do everything. He's special teams tough. He's the leader. He's the guy for everything we do. Offensive line to me has got to get tougher. Just their mentality. There's some talent there, but we've got to get tougher. Tight ends will be a strength. I think they can run and play. Wide receiver can be. I don't think we're there yet. You got a few. Daz has been really good, but we got to catch balls. We've dropped too many balls in our past. And we've got to make sure that we get free in space because people will bump us some and try to take that away. Defensive line is really good with the first group. There's no depth. We've got to develop depth, and that's such a key. Linebacker to me is all over the place a little bit. We got young guys that are talented, but nobody's really. We got Eugene Asante coming in there, but we hadn't seen them all play yet. You got Chaz, that's Surratt, that's new, and quarterback playing linebacker. You got a freshman with Cotton Jackson, and Gimbel's good. He's got to get stronger. And Dominic Ross is a really good pass rusher. Got to get better in space. And then in the secondary, I think we're going to be good. We've just got to figure out who one of the corners is going to be. Patrice is playing really well. You've got the other safeties. I think we'll be fine with Jones and Wolford, and especially with Miles Dorn. But we got to find the other pieces there, and that's pieces that we haven't seen yet. And then you got a brand new kicking game. So, and I didn't even mention quarterback. We've talked about them a lot. But I think we have a chance. We got to do a great job coaching. This isn't on the players as much as it is us. I think there's enough stuff there. We got to develop depth. And we got to put the ball in the right players' hands, and we got to call the right stuff on defense to help these kids.
As a coach, is that challenge of needing to really coach them up?
Yeah,
That's something you guys embrace.
It really does. We're not. We may not be better than anybody on our schedule, so we got to play good every week. That's what coaching is all about. That's our job. Our job is to help them.
Because of that, with a new staff and a new offense, how was it to hit the ground running with South Carolina in the first game as opposed to easing into it with Podunk State?
Well, it's South Carolina, then Miami, then Wake on the road, then App, who's got 19 starters back, then Clemson. So I hadn't even looked past that. So I got that far and I stopped. I said I got enough problems without exciting myself to know what is past that.
How do you handle that? How do you have the type of team you think that can hit the ground running like that?
That's our job. It's our job. They haven't the last 2 years. We were brought in to get them more confident and get them to be in positions to win more games. And that's our job. I mean, so I fully expect that. That's when people say, what are your expectations? Our expectations are to win every game. And then they say, so you think you're going to beat Clemson? I said, I didn't say that. But we want to. And we're going to try to. And we're going to do everything within our power to. So I'm not going to sit here and say, God, we'd love to win 6. What an awful thing to love to win 6. That's half your game. So that's where I'm excited to see us put these guys in positions where they can play.
Gang, we got time for one more.
Coach, correct me if I'm wrong, get the job in 1998. Mr. Williams is playing pro baseball. How do you handle the situations in the course of your career with pro athletes and then also recruiting? I'm sorry, multi-sport athletes, and also recruiting multi-sport athletes?
What we have done, as long as a young guy can play in another sport, and as long as his academics are good, his acting right, and it doesn't take away from us. Like we've had guys play basketball, but they go through football season, go through the bowl game, go immediately to basketball, go immediately to transfer. So I don't mind them playing 2 sports. It keeps them busy, keeps them challenged as long as they're doing their academics. Yes. If they're good enough to be great in 2 or 3 sports, then it's pretty good. We had one.